SHASHAMULATTA. I don't mean to laugh at your name, but I'm from the racial discussions chat room. Let's see. My screen names were Smoking the Herbs, Kick the Gong, I Am Evil Filth. Hold on a second. Let me see. I've had quite a few. I know I've talked to you so many times. Oh, Babylon Breaking, Find Nirvana Net. I'm like the only white chick in there that's like real. Well, no, I'm not the only white chick in there, but I'm the only white chick in there that's really, really anti-racialism and anti-racism. And what I think is so funny is that, and I might be kicking myself under the bus here for mentioning this, is that these people, you know, in the racial discussion chat, they don't kick me out, and I'm so anti their beliefs, and they don't kick me out. So, to me, that's making some progress. But in response to your Jena 6 video, I agree totally. White people think that the issue is that the black kids shouldn't get punishment, and that's not the issue. The issue is the severity of their punishment. While the white kids got no punishment, the black kids got like the extreme fucking, you know, the most extreme thing that could happen to them, they got it. And while the white kids hung nooses, they didn't get charged, or they got probation or whatever, big fucking deal, probation. They smashed a bottle over a black kid's head. They didn't get assault. They didn't get battery. They brought a gun. They didn't get any weapon charges. Yada yada yada. You can clearly see that this is a civil rights issue. A lot of white people don't want to believe that there is a civil rights struggle in this country, and there is. There is definitely a civil rights issue in this country, whether white people want to believe it or not. And it's not just black against white, it's also rich against poor, because we have a disappearing middle class in this country. And if you look at poor whites and poor blacks, especially here in the South, I'm from the South, I'm from Tennessee, when you look at poor blacks and poor whites, their struggles go hand in hand here in the South. There's more similarities than differences between poor blacks and poor whites here. So, I went to a Jena 6 rally, and I was the only white person there, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that there were no black people, that there were no white people there. I was the only white person, literally, like the only white person there. And it bugged me because I'm just thinking, you know, do white people not care about this? Has our preoccupation with trivial things like race gotten in the way of our ideas of what is morally right and morally wrong in this country? That's my beef right there, is that white people are jumping on the white people's side automatically without looking at the issue and without making an educated opinion about the issue. It pisses me off because in this country we have more people who identify themselves by race and more people who identify themselves communally than we do people who identify themselves as individuals and identify themselves in a case of their own unique individuality. I don't identify with whites. I don't identify with blacks. I don't identify with Christians or Muslims or Jews or whatever. I don't identify with Germans, even though my background is largely German. I don't identify with Native Americans, even though my grandmother was a full-blooded Native American. To identify with a group eradicates my individual identity. It puts me in a genre, and I don't want to be a genre-specific person. I don't want to belong to a subculture. I don't identify as a punk or an emo or a skinhead or a goth or a thug or whatever. I think it's ridiculous that it's coming to this in this country, and Jena 6 is just the beginning. It is just the beginning. But anyways, yeah, I don't know if you remember me or not. It's so funny that you've got a YouTube. I'm always on YouTube. I'm a total YouTube addict. Um, you gotta remember me though. My name's Leslie, by the way, so maybe you remember me by that. Alright, well, that's all.